I wasn't ready for that. A bow and arrow from the producer?
Man, that was...
Holy cow.
Hand, bow, and arrows. You know what this is?
How does that look?
Hand cannons.
How about a mortar launcher? Awesome.
Almost hit my coffee. Ah! I'll get into these later.
He will, actually.
I actually will.
We're going to wrap him in these and see how he takes to them.
I'm so terrified.
You'll be fine.
Sure I will.
You'll take an 11 out of 10.
An 11 out of 10?
Yeah. You asked, you wanted to know what they're like.
Yes, that is true.
Now, okay.
Give me the Dan Bell wraps. Put 1,000 pounds on the bar. Let me fucking try.
What I want to see before we even load 1,000 pounds, we're going to wrap. I just want to see if you can walk.
Yeah.
Now, here's the other thing. I have wrapped 2 people in these, and they couldn't even finish.
Really?
They couldn't finish. My first time, Paulo wrapped me in these, and I told him to take them off. They were too much. And this is Paulo. Paulo was a kid at the time. Yeah.
Welcome back to the Stache and Beard Show.
Yep.
Austin's going to get humbled.
No, it's going to be a fun time.
Yeah.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned for that, because holy cow, I've never been like nervous to try something before. Like,
So my knee wraps, man, when I first started, like, they were a pair of like the cheap Inzer red and blacks.
Yeah.
They weren't even the grippers.
Yeah.
They were this cheap ass fucking pair. Like, and honestly, it was like somebody cut a T-shirt and just put them in a roll, and like that was
said here.
And that's what I lifted in. And then the progression of knee wrap, you know, to what I've come to know. Mm-hmm. Then I went to the yellow and black, the Inzers. I bought those are the grippers. I bought them at a trade show one year. And then got in with the crew that used overkills, and then I fell in love with overkill, and that's all I use, man.
Yeah.
But the first time Paulo wrapped my knees, he gave me he gave me a wrap, and I said, stop, take it off.
Yeah.
And I've wrapped people in them. I've watched people go to try and squat. They can't bend their knees. So it's interesting. And then, like, even in these, as much as I love them up to a certain weight in my gear. Mm-hmm. And then, dude, I get fucking nothing out of them after a certain weight.
Really?
So then I have my other wraps. And then I'm superstitious as fuck, so I had my RPGs that I did all my 1,000-pound squats in. Mm-hmm. My first 11 was in the RPGs, the old throwbacks. Mm-hmm. And then Anderson picked us up, and then we had to switch over. So I remember calling up, and I said, hey, dude, like, I'm superstitious as fuck, but I'm trying to push your company. What's close to these? And he's like, boom, these. And now these are the wraps that I squat in.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Nice.
Yeah.
The reason why people rap is so that way they don't get injured.
Yes and no.
Hey, we're talking about injuries. You want to fucking transition? You want to segue? Go fucking buy one, okay? All right.
Yes, to keep the knee protected, but also for support. So 50-50.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get on your mall cop Segway and go fuck yourself. Here we go. We're talking injuries. This is what you get when Austin's running on low amounts of sleep and high amounts of caffeine.
There we go.
So injuries, they happen.
Mm-hmm.
You dealt with injury, pretty significant injury to say the least. I mean, almost
compared to other injuries that my boys have had. Yeah, this was nothing. It's just the most fucking frustrating injury I've ever had in my life. But whatever.
Yeah, it was nothing. It was just mostly a quad tear.
Yeah, mostly.
Mostly.
But I've had 2 friends completely blow out fucking knees. With fucking patellar tendon. You know what I'm talking about? When we're talking about like, hey man, whose injury was worse? These 2 motherfuckers.
Right,
you know what I'm saying? When we're talking about just like a fucking nagging injury.
Yeah.
You know, like Jesus, man. Like, will you just fucking get fixed already?
Right.
Then, you know, that type of shit. But we all go through it.
Yep.
So,
Jody's currently sitting on the bench because of his back. I'm just fucking great and never get injured.
Yeah,
It's because I take a lot of rest days.
Yeah, a lot of rest days. But, you know, when we talk about, you know, what we're talking about, injuries can happen. Mm-hmm. You know, we never think, man, well, what if this happens? But we do. Right. It's funny when we talk about shit like this, we do have a plan B. It's just that I don't put it into effect. I don't think, man, Austin, like, just in case Austin gets hurt today,
right?
I don't think like that. My thoughts are, hey man, let's go be safe. I write you.
Yeah.
Hey man, work to a safe.
Yeah.
You know, if this.
I never know what that means.
Well,
because I just lift as heavy as I can.
Yeah, but safely. You know what I'm saying? When we go to shit in our form, you know, we're candy caning a squat, you know, we just shit our pants, like, we're done.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So things like that.
Yeah.
That's safe. When form is out and we're knock-kneeing and, you know, we're hunched over and, you literally like, said shit pants, like we're done. That now we're no longer safe type of thing.
Right.
Now we're entering territory where we could get injured, and I don't need that from y'all.
Right.
So that's what I mean when I tell you guys a safe 1, 2, 3 rep max, things like that.
He's only been riding me for like a year, so
close.
Year plus, 2 years.
3. So
we've been together 3 years, but you didn't. I mean, technically, I asked you a lot of questions and you answered them.
This is true too.
I totally.
But
finessed.
We've kept you injury free.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And so that's generally, the track record of coach and athlete is to keep you safe as long as possible.
Yeah.
Does shit happen? It does, To
everybody.
And when it does, then that's when I execute plan B.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't ever walk into this and be like, man, today's the day that Austin gets hurt.
Right.
Who the writes that?
That makes
you know what I'm saying? So, injuries and then,
It's also a lot more work. It's a whole nother workout.
Way more.
Yeah.
Way
That.
more. So.
But when they do occur, we've had a couple people at the gym recently deal with injuries.
Yep.
What my biggest fear of if I get injured, let's say I injure let's say I pull a hamstring.
Pull a hamstring.
I know that for 3 weeks I can't really squat, I can't really deadlift. How do I not let those things go to shit in those 3 weeks?
First thing I'm going to tell you, as far as coming from your coach, is let's find what you are able to do safely. What are you able to do? And now, depending, do we keep off of it altogether? Well, then I'm not walking you. I'm not even doing anything. Maybe like a leg extension. Just we got to see, because now we're stretching, we're moving. Maybe right now we just need to rest it. And even on that's going to be one of those things. Do I rest it? Do I move it? We got to look at that.
Right.
But it's going to come down to what can Austin tolerate. What's your toleration of movement? Some people, and you know this, some people, I could touch you in the arm, like, oh my God, my arm. And other people like, dude, like, fucking hit me, man.
Right.
And so everybody's different. What can Austin tolerate? And we find those movements. What does and doesn't bother you? What bothers you? Stop. What doesn't? In moderation until we see like what you're able to recover from. We mush into those movements.
Yeah.
So with that being said, we got a torn hammy. We're off of it. I'm still going to get you in here. Guess what? Hamstring is your lower body. I can work your upper body. So I still want to see you in here.
That was something that you were huge on. During your quad tear.
Yeah.
I remember watching you bench press.
That's all I had.
That's all you had, and you didn't even have legs. You had the straight leg.
I larcened everything.
Yeah.
But it was because I literally, so I couldn't stand on obviously my one leg.
Right.
And couldn't get into certain machines to work my other leg. So I didn't do nothing, dude. I couldn't leg curl. I couldn't leg extend. I couldn't squat. I couldn't do fucking nothing, man.
Right.
I could do calf raises on my one leg.
Nice.
But you know what I'm saying? But
just a meaty calf. This one calf becomes a cow.
But me being me, I knew. Was I upset? Yeah, man.
Right.
There goes a competition. It was a big one for me.
Yeah.
But I knew I couldn't be out of gym. You know what I'm saying? I knew I had to stay around. I knew that from the mental aspect of it. From the mental health, I'd be around you guys. And even being around you guys on squat day bothered me, man. Because I was like, man, look at these motherfuckers squatting, doing what I can't do. But then I had to change my mindset and be like, look at fucking Jody hit PR. Look at Austin hit PR. Yeah. So that was, you change negative into a positive as fast as you can. That's my spin on that. It might sound like garbage to the next person, like, oh, this fucking Mr. Rogers neighborhood motherfucker. And that's cool, but my thing
I want
was,
to see you in a sweater. Now,
I'll get a sweater vest off Amazon.
Yes!
But my thing of it was that when I got hurt was to be still in the gym, doing what I was able to do. And to be around you guys for, the camaraderie and the energy and things like that. Because when I would leave you guys, I would go home and I would fucking sulk.
Right.
Because I was in bed. I was in crutches. I had to drive, I had to do all this shit.
Yeah.
So being around you guys was the positive. So that's the next thing I tell people when they're injured. Boo-hoo. Get the fuck in here. You know what I'm saying? Get the fuck in here. Be around us. Find out if we can work the other leg. At least come in on upper body. Guess what? Now you're upper body dominant. So even on our lower body days, you're still in here and we're lifting. But, those are some things that I try to teach you guys. It's not the end of the world. You know what I'm saying? It sucks. We do have a setback, but we're still going to be as proactive as we can moving forward, working with what we've got. Coming back to it, the 2 weeks, 3 weeks downtime from being off the leg. Now we start slowly implementing movements back in. Maybe a high block deadlift, maybe a trap bar deadlift, maybe just a high box squat. Once again, these movements are different for everybody based on the individual.
Right.
Where your hamstring, even though you and I, maybe we tore the same hamstring spot, this exact same fucking location.
Right.
Maybe high block deadlifts don't bother me, but they bother you. So guess what? You don't do them.
Right.
Maybe high box squats do bother me for whatever fucking reason, but they don't bother you. So guess what? You get the high box squat, I get the high box deadlift, and now you and I are still working together on our flat wheel, you know, our flat tire.
Yeah.
So that's one of my answers there, you know, towards that.
And so it is just entirely if you can do it. It's similar to, you know, it's very similar to the thought process of, you know, oh, I'm super busy Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but I still want to try and get something in. We'll come in and get something in.
Yeah, no,
it's
absolutely.
the exact same thing.
The exact same thing. And you know, like you hear me tell it all the time to people: do what you can, stop what you can't. You know, so come in, do what you're able to do on your wheel. You know, still assuming that it's your hamstring. Ricky tore a bicep.
Yeah.
And the biggest thing was to get him to realize that he had another bicep. He had a whole nother arm, you know, so let's get in and let's do one-sided training. And we did. We found variations for him to do on lower body days. He did the safety squat bar on squat days, and we worked up different reps. And, you know, the biggest thing on that is finding out what's strained for him. You know, as he's straining up, is he flexing that arm to help offset, you know, his body as he's standing up with the safety squat bar? Right. If so, and that's hurting, guess what? You're too heavy.
Right.
I don't care if it's a 6 rep max, 8 rep max percent work. Once we're using this and it's hurting you, we stop because now you're using this. We found a strap variation for him to pull off the floor. Yesterday we got him in here and we did a band variation on the straight bar so he could get in here and squat with both hands.
Yeah.
And the only reason we did that, just in case anybody's wondering, why don't you just put him on the safety squat bar? We didn't load the safety squat bars yesterday. We had 2 straight bars going. So I wanted him over here with us, and we said, hey, get over here, be in the group, and throw the bands on, and now you're squatting on the straight bars with us. So we found variations for him to use as we can for everybody.
And that's super important, and especially you keep mentioning the camaraderie thing, especially with, you know, Ricky and you, and you know, whenever someone has an injury, at least at this gym, you're still part of the crew,
dude. Yeah,
as long as you show up, we are not going to treat you any
100%,
different,
dude. Like, it's one of those things. Like, I would much rather, I don't give a if you're parked over in a wheelchair, man. At least you're around us.
Yeah.
And it's tough, you know. Like I'm not even kidding you, man. I would show up on Sundays at Backbone with y'all, and I would sit over there by the door, and I'm like, "What the fuck am I here for?" Because I was useless, man. I couldn't wrap your knees. I couldn't fucking spot.
Right.
I couldn't load a wheel.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm sitting over here, and it
couldn't
bothered
even
me.
sit comfortably.
Sitting sucked. You know, I had to sit on the highest of boxes because God forbid if I got stuck. So like I literally no lie to you, man. Like I sat over there, and I was like, "Dude, I'm fucking useless here. What the fuck am I here for?"
Right.
And I'm like, I'm by the door. I could easily crutch away, get back to my truck, go home. But I was like, yo, like what am I going to do? So it was tough, man.
Yeah.
But I've also never been injured.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So people who've been injured before and now, you know, other people that have been injured, it is tough for them as well. But, you know, now having been injured, now I can be like, hey, man, here's what you may go through.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I've seen it others, but, you know, like when Danny was hurt, you know, Danny came over, he was in his wheelchair through the doors and he'd crutch around. And that motherfucker was benching with us, dude.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He was at meets taking care of motherfuckers. It was his job. So, you know, things enter your mind. You know, when you're, we're not just talking like, oh, hey, I cut too much nail away and I couldn't bench press today. Did you get injured? Yeah, I'm not downplaying that. Like, yeah, okay, you cut some cuticle on your nail and you bled.
Yeah.
And now you got a Band-Aid and it affects the way you grab the bar. Okay. I'm not, you know what I mean? Like, we're talking about, I chopped my goddamn fingers off and had them fucking sewn back on type of shit, type of injuries. You know what I'm saying? So, but you know, even that motherfucker, dude, he was back out there taking care of his people.
Yeah,
it's coming in. You know, being around us. You know, it wasn't like one of those ones. Oh, you blew out a wheel, fuck Austin. You know,
right? Yeah.
No, get that motherfucker in here because I know what it's like to not be around the group and the energy and the positivity and stuff like that. So, you know, kind of coming full circle with you on everything. We find what you're able to do, and you may just become a bench specialist for 3 or 4 weeks, or however long until your wheel heals up. Or one-sided training, you know, which is, you know, we got science and stuff on that to back and support that even working that one side, albeit most people think, oh, I'm going to have this jacked left side.
Yeah.
You know, your right side still gets the feed off of some of what's going on that left side. So, you know, we're blood flow and healing elements and things like that, which sounds like voodoo to you guys, but go do your research and find the stats out there on that. So I can work this left side while my right side is is healing up. And then I come back and I still got to do my right side, but it's not as weak as if I just let it atrophy for the 3 months that, somebody's out in a cast or, stuff like that. So there's all that stuff to support. Yeah.
Have you seen all the arm wrestler stuff where guys just let an arm atrophy? Like literally they do everything with their right arm or their left arm, and they just straight up they literally have one jacked arm. That's crazy. I know that's not what we're talking about, but that's immediately where my brain went. Yeah,
so on that dude, I've watched dudes they're jacked on one side, and I've never heard the atrophy purposely let the left side atrophy just to be a right sided. Yeah, I've heard obviously that they just work obviously their dominant side. Right.
Devin Larratt, the number one has been he's a huge arm wrestling star. He recently, over the past year, decided I'm not doing my left hand anymore. And so he literally only trains his right arm and only does things he only eats with his right hand. Yeah. And so it's weird. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, do you for your sport, man, but that one's kind of hard for me to wrap my brain around because I've come from sports that require both left side, right side. Right. Bodybuilding is all about symmetry.
Symmetry. Yeah.
Strongman. If I only had one strong right side and a weak ass left side, good luck with farmers.
Oh yeah.
We come into powerlifting. Obviously, my left side has to be as strong as my right side, or we have discrepancies show up, and and further injury, or further injure ourselves and things like that. So, that one's kind of hard for me to wrap my head around. So
it's a little weird. I have a controversial topic that it involves injuries. Do you post your injury on Instagram?
That's on you, man.
Because there are a lot of people that don't like watching injuries. There are certain injuries that I will watch over and over and over again.
So you're asking me, I didn't post mine. Yeah. I only ever watched it one time, and the reason being I wanted to see if there was some sign that gave away. To kind of lead into, to go into it, I did have right side pain from my hip to my knee 2 weeks prior. I walked into that session that day fucking feeling amazing. Yeah. I can't remember, 110 minus 1295. What was that, 1185? Yeah. And we're talking band and weight. Smoked it. I went up to Ray and I said, hey man, what do you think? And he's like, dude, that moved. Yeah. He's like, how do you feel? And I said, man, I feel great. And he's like, dude, if you didn't have pain prior weeks, I would say let's go up. And I was like, dude, you're right. Yeah. So I sat down, I stayed in my suit, and I was like, fuck it, man. I'm feeling good. Yeah. I'm feeling fucking good. And I remember looking over, I was like 1,300. And I was off in the math. So I wouldn't even have had 1,300 that day anyway. Yeah. And I got under, and nothing other than 2 weeks prior having some knee pain and things like that, but nothing that day indicated to me hey, stop. Right. And so when I tell you safe, hindsight, I should have fucking listened to myself 2 weeks ago, this and that, it was bad, but then 2 weeks prior, okay, man, we're steamrolling. Let's fucking go, man. Right. Nothing that day told me stop. Right. Other than Ray saying, hey, man, and I still to this day on camera, dude, I agreed with him. And then I was just like, fuck it, let's go, man. I'm feeling fucking good. Let's fucking go. Yeah. And it went. Yeah. And so I went back one time to look at it just to see, was there something that I missed going in other than 2 weeks prior? I should have just stayed away. And there was nothing, dude. I went down, I went up, pop, it just, it goes. Yeah. That's the only time I've watched it. I don't want to see it. I didn't post it. I'm one of those ones, though. Nobody that day, outside of maybe Tara and Ray, knew I was hurt. I walked outside.
I had no idea.
I got on the phone with Danny. I said, hey, man. Called him and me. He's the first person I called. I said, hey, dude, I think I got a cramp. And I went to go bend. And as I bent behind my truck to try and squat, pain shot. And I said, hey, I don't think it's a cramp. So I got out of my suit. Noah came out, grabbed my bag. I walked in. Didn't even say bye. Yeah. Dude, I was gone. Yeah. Nobody knew what the happened. Yeah. Because it was just but that's how I am. Sure. It wasn't that big of an injury to where everybody knew something had happened. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you might have known something was up, but you didn't know I was injured. Yeah. I didn't make a big deal about it. Right. So that was on Sunday. I go to the doctor. On Tuesday, I was back in there, brace, and I was benching. Yeah. Because I was like, oh, it's bench day. You know what I mean?
I remember when Liz came back from CrossFit, and she was like, hey, Alan, got fucked up. And I was like, what? When? How? What happened? And of course Liz didn't ask because Liz is like nervous, and so we didn't find out until like 3 days later or anything.
I was, but that's me. I didn't want to make a big spectacle about it, and was like, yo, just show back up on Tuesday. Like, hey, got a brace, tore a muscle, and let's bench. But that was me. I didn't make a video about it, and it's funny because if you take a look at the lapses between where we were fucking cooking, man. We were cooking. Me and Ray were cooking. And you see where it's like, my last video was like before I got hurt, and then the next one is like into February. Because I just like, I ain't shit to post. Because now I'm benching. Now I'm doing my everyday bench shit. So I to come back to it, not to get off topic, I didn't post it. I didn't want it to be a thing. But that's me. Because some people will post it to kind of show, hey, shit happens. Don't let it beat you. This is what happened to me. Now look at what I've overcome. Because the very inspirational, very motivational type of shit.
The big one right now is the guy. It was a couple weeks ago with Larry Wheels. Was doing incline bench, and his whole pec just.
He has like one tit.
Yeah. It was like, I haven't seen Chad's video or anything, but I would imagine it's worse than Chad's. Oh, you are so not a fan.
No, I know the video.
I watched
Chad's pec roll up.
Yeah.
I watched this pec. This motherfucker literally uniboobed.
Yeah. From
the left side or from the right side of his armpit up into the center of his chest cavity.
Yeah.
I watched that video.
Yeah.
And I think I was in the truck with Chad getting the monolift when we watched that fucking video, dude.
Yeah.
So that was one of those ones, like, I don't like watching that shit. Yet again, I'm not one of those people that walks up like, hey man, my knees are going today. I'm like, oh, okay.
Well, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I don't like watching those things.
If you know it's an injury video, do you watch it?
I try not to.
Yeah.
I try not to because I don't like to. Even you guys, I don't let you motherfuckers walk under that bar, the bench, the deadlift, walking up with fucking negative energy.
Yeah.
So I don't want you guys being like, oh, here goes my bench press. Glad I watched that chest press video.
Yeah.
Like, motherfucker, get that shit off, man.
Yeah.
It's somebody, especially when a motherfucker wants to come up to you and show it right before you're going to go. I get mad, man.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, why are you showing Austin that? He's fucking up, man.
Right. Yeah.
Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, get that fucking shit away. Show it to him after he's fucking done. That man don't need to know that.
Right.
So that's my thoughts on that. You and I were just sitting at the bar, we're drinking beers, and we're like, oh, look at this titty pop. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, great. I'm glad I got to see it. My thoughts are different on that, but not when you're about to go on a bench and you're not about to go squat. I don't want to watch all that shit, man.
Yeah.
So, do I watch them? I try not to. This one, I literally didn't know what I was watching. Boom. And I was like, oh.
Yeah.
And then it was like in the group chat, and then it was in another group chat, and then it was like on fucking YouTube. I'm like, Jesus, man, you can't get away from this video. And,
dude, I use that for a blog post. People eat that shit up.
Dude.
Oh, you haven't seen it?
Dude, it's bad.
It is rough.
Yeah. No, when John got hurt, I didn't want to watch the video. When Danny got hurt, I didn't want to watch the video. Certain people when they get hurt, I don't want to watch that. I don't want to watch that. It's public. Obviously, it happened, but it's like a private moment to you, dude. Like I don't want to, I don't want to watch your video. You know, how do you feel? Unless it's you and you're coming here like, oh, look at my fucking kneecap break, bro. Do you hear my knee snap? And you want to show the video, but it's you. Like, I'm not going to be in here and be like, hey, let's watch Austin's video. And you come in like, hey, bro, we're watching your video.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do that. That's me.
Yeah.
So coming back to your question, you want to post it. Mm-hmm. That's on you, man.
Yeah.
Also, what's your reasoning behind it? Mm-hmm. Like if it's to show like, hey, motherfucker, shit fucking happens.
Right.
Okay, look what happened to me. Look at where I'm at. Mm-hmm. Hey, man, I'm good for that.
Right.
You're motivating motherfuckers that may have been through some, through some shit. Maybe the Rickies, maybe the Jodys, maybe the me's. And I say, hey, man, if fucking Austin can get through it, so can I type of shit.
Right.
Then I'm all for it.
Yeah.
But if you're just like, like, oh, look at this shit, shouldn't have done this shit, lifting, watch my knee snap backwards. Like, man, what the fuck? What are you posting this shit for? That's my take on it, dude.
Yeah.
From a professional side of it, and a personal side of it. So,
Yeah.
But people follow you for a reason, or for shock value or for motivation. Certain people follow you for a reason. So you post that shit, and like, hey man, like they'll come back to you years later, dude. Yeah. Like, hey man, I remember that video you posted. When your titty popped on the bench,
right? And
you stuck with it, man. And I followed you for years, and I really just wanted to read. And dudes will do this, man.
Yeah.
They'll reach out to you and it's like, hey Austin, thanks for that shit because of that video. And because of the videos, subsequent videos and shit like that, seeing you still in the gym and seeing where you came from, dude, I'm still here. Yeah. So hey, post that shit.
Right.
You know, there may be somebody going out with some shit right now. Maybe I'm injured and I see this like, oh man, this motherfucker has the same injury as me.
Right.
And he's getting through it.
Yeah.
You know, and people will reach out to you and now you made a motherfucking friend and you know what I'm saying? I meet you at a meet and be like, hey dude, you know, like hey, we're pack brothers, you know, shit like that.
Yeah.
That shit happens, man. So, you know, post that.
Use it for good.
Yes. Use it for good, man. Use it for good. I don't know anybody. I don't think I've known anybody just to post it, just be like, oh, look at this. I got one titty. I don't know anybody right off the top of my head.
The only one that jumps out to me is one that wasn't an injury. J-Bo, he was bench pressing one time and his wrist like went and he caught it right beforehand. And people freaked out because it looked bad, but it wasn't a real injury. So that's the only one that in my mind someone was like, "Hey, watch this. This could have been bad."
No, I've watched. You know, I've had friends of mine from the first CTX. You know, like they got onto gym fails. Like it was like a big fucking joke, and I'm like, "It's not a joke, man.
Yeah,
this motherfucker missed the rack." Justin, I don't know if you remember this one.
I hate gym fail videos,
dude. Like there's some
I hate them.
There's some that like deserve, like they do this shit on purpose to get seen.
Sure.
Man, you get everything that's owed to you.
Yeah.
Or coming to you. There's some like what happened to Justin. He got it. Dude, it was a great squat. He missed the rack and dumped the fucking barbell.
Right.
So then it was like, oh, gym spectacle. Let's make fun of this fucking guy. Let's not take a look at the body weight on the kid or the fucking weight on the bar. You know.
Right. Yeah.
Let's look at, oh, ha ha, he missed the fucking rack.
The fact that he smoked the weight.
Yeah.
You know,
like let's just make fun of the fact he missed the fucking rack. Like, oh, okay. I have problems with that stuff.
Yeah.
Some people that just literally they'll do some shit, just be like, hey man, this is gonna get me famous.
Yeah.
Okay. Good luck fixing your fucking teeth, dude. You know. So those are my thoughts on that.
Yeah.
So
I feel that.
Yeah.
Well, I think
hopefully that answered your questions.
I think so.
Yeah.
I don't know. My brain's fucking gone.
That's good. Hopefully that answered your questions.
If you have more questions, leave them in the comments below. Time for some cheap plugs because we got to go wrap my knees and watch me die inside. So, you can find me, I'm Austin Pistulka, at Radio Guy Austin on Twitter, Instagram, and then at Actually Average on TikTok. I'm pointing and pressing buttons down below. Who are you?
I'm Alan Pilley.
Are you Alan Pilley?
Maybe.
You can
I'm
find
trying
him.
to get my voice. It won't go.
You can find him at
I'm
Alan
Alan
Pilley.
Yeah. I'm trying to get it to crack and it won't.
So, you're Alan Pilley. Where can they find you?
At Alan Pilley. Lady Juice Beard Oil.
There you go.
And, CTX Barbell.
There you go. Nailed it. Podcast drops wherever podcasts can be found. I'm fucking tired. Let's wrap my news. Bye, motherfuckers.
Later, motherfuckers.
Hi, everybody. This is where Austin's leg gets amputated. Hope you're ready. We'll try one. Oh, God.
Let's just go one.
Yeah, we'll go one. I kind of want to do two just to...
Get up, watch you walk around.
Do I... Okay. So,
Yep.
I don't know how to...
So, okay, so what are we, we're cranking these fuckers? Like, hey, this is like max effort?
Yep.
I would start him at a 75%.
Hold that.
Nope.
Knock your knee down.
I don't
Fucking
know
give
if
it
I
to
can
me.
handle a max effort yet.
It's nothing. Come on now. Oh, fuck.
This is something, yeah, awesome.
You can let go of that.
Holy shit. Ow! I can't. Ah!
Yeah, it starts to cast.
Ah!
Keep your knee locked for me.
Okay, I'll try it. What?
Yep.
You do this to both?
I do this to both legs.
Ah!
Multiple times.
Ah!
And that's a wrap.
Ah! Ah!
Turn this way, Austin.
Oh my
What
gosh!
you feeling, brother?
I can't. Ah!
Can you bend your knee?
Fuck you, I'm good bended. Ah, yeah!
Yeah?
Okay, take it off. Holy shit. How does this work? Ah! Oh my god!
Yeah.
You do this every week?
Every week.
Welcome to our world.
Why?
And that's me wrapping you. Wrapping myself is a little less. because I have to.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah. Yeah. So I can't wrap nearly as tight myself as I can wrap you, just for where I'm at with leverages and things. But that's what happens. Like when somebody wraps me, that's how somebody wraps me.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
Wow!
Awesome.
I don't want to do that again. Nope. I really thought I was gonna get both. I thought I was gonna be able to do 2.
Yeah.
But that's awful.
This wrap, there's so much play in these.
Yeah.
So when I was wrapping Dan yesterday, dude, like I'm out against it. There's no more.
Yeah.
So where this, I mean, you can just see that stretch.
Yeah.
Like when I'm wrapping him, like that's just there's also a 2.5 meter wrap on that dude's knees.
Yeah.
It was insane. These are 3s.
Fuck me.
Yeah.
The first time I got wrapped with those,
Uh huh.
my legs bled. It cut through the skin.
Yeah.
Am I bleeding?
No, you
No, I'm not bleeding.
And some seatbelt burns. That's about it.
Wow.
Yeah.
No wonder motherfuckers squat so much in those. Wow.
Yep. Dude, it's insane.
Do I want to try it